Right, now on to a bit more substance as to what world politics is. There are lots of different theories or schools of thought in world politics which try, with varying degrees of success, to explain how the world works. I'm going to make an incredibly brief introduction to them using glasses of milk and my ironing board. I'm making some massive generalizations here, but hear me out on this. First, realism. For realists, the glass is half empty. Next, liberalism. For liberals, the glass is half full. After that comes Marxism. For Marxists, it doesn't really matter whether you regard the glass as half empty or half full. The fact is that some glasses are a lot bigger than others, and from a world politics perspective, this helps us to explain inequality in the international system. Next comes Constructivism. For the Constructivists, fundamentally, we can't understand the nature of the half glass of milk. We can only perceive it through a value window, and we need to question who constructed that window for us. Another school is feminism. For feminist scholars of IR, rather than looking at how much milk is in the glass, we should ask how the milk got there. Who are the farmers? Who works in the supply chains? Are disadvantaged groups being systematically marginalised? Now, these 5 glasses represent some of the main schools of something we call international relations. There are some other schools like post-structuralism, but they talk rubbish, so it's best to ignore them. What unifies each of these schools of international relations, or IR, is that they are all trying to understand how the world works, how politics works at a global level. To do this, each one gives us a different lens through which to view the international system. So that then is international relations, but that's just one part of world politics. Another part is called comparative politics. The comparativists compare different things, usually countries, although for reasons that we'll discover, the term state is preferable to country. Sometimes comparativists will compare states which are quite similar to each other. So if we take away our big one here, we could compare these 4 similar states. For instance, they could be Denmark, Finland, Norway and Sweden, which are similar in many ways. Now, as we know that they are similar, we're interested in what the differences are in terms of the big themes of world politics, such as democracy, human rights, international trade and so on. Alternatively, we could compare some very different states. So let's say that the big one is Brazil and that the smaller one is North Korea. Again, we know that they're different, so there are some things that are constant across both despite their differences. Now, to answer these questions, we have 2 powerful approaches. One is called quantitative methods. For quantitative researchers, if you want to know how much milk there is, then you measure it. And if you want to know how democratic a state is, then you measure that. Then there are qualitative methods. For qualitative researchers, if you want to know how much milk there is, you talk to the farmer. And if you want to know how democratic a state is, you talk to some carefully selected people. So, international relations, comparative politics, quantitative methods and qualitative methods. Those are the bases on which we are going to look at world politics.